Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and it's time for your December 2020 Money, Wealth, Finance, Prosperity, Abundance reading. For the readings this month, I'm going to be using my white tarot deck. I will clarify with my Radiant Rider-Waite tarot deck. And then, Virgo, I will close out your reading with the Wisdom of the Oracle card. So I hope you all are doing well. I know things have been really chaotic for a lot of us, but for Virgos, I know we have kind of been going through some transitions, and I know we touched on that last month, and so I'm really curious to see what's going to be showing up for us in the new month of December. And for those of you that don't know, I am a Virgo through and through. I have actually double Virgo in my chart, and yeah, everything about a typical Virgo is me. So if this is your first time catching one of my readings, I do want to say welcome, and I invite you to subscribe because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. So let's go ahead and get right to it and see what we need to know for the sign of Virgo as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of December 2020. Okay. All right, so I can tell as we move into this new month of December, Virgo, you're going to have to really stop ignoring how you're feeling and not trusting yourself. I see that very clearly, and I can tell by some of these cards here that for whatever reason, you're either ignoring your intuition, ignoring your gut feelings, or you're just not trusting yourself. And I can say I go through periods of that too. So, you know, this totally makes sense. Now, the other thing is because we have the King of Cups here in the reverse, that talks about sometimes emotions being out of control as we move into this new month of December. We may be a little bit more emotionally sensitive. And the interesting thing is most of us Virgos are not like, hyper sensitive or hyper reactive. Especially when it comes to like our money. I mean, a lot of times we try to take the pragmatic approach to most issues, especially financial and money issues. But it looks like as we move into this new month, things could be just a little bit more affecting us. So, like I said, sometimes this has nothing to do with anyone or anything. It's just part of the normal phase of life, and I truly feel like that's what's going on here. And I say that because we've got some really good cards here. So it looks like, good news is definitely coming our way by these two cards here. And then we also have the Nine of Swords in reverse, which is the end of worry, fear, anxiety, staying up late, nightmares, uncomfortableness. Those things are moving out of the way, which is going to give us a much clearer understanding of what's to come. Now, the thing about Virgos as it relates to your money is like you're going to start getting a really good sense of where you stand in your financial health. You're going to see very clearly what you need to do for this new year. You're going to see what worked, what didn't work. You're also going to see that, there's some things that you need to change wholeheartedly. Relationships, maybe some goals as it relates to your work, your business. Maybe it's time to really just start some new things. It's going to disappoint some people, but you know what? When all is said and done, you still come out ahead, Virgo. Now let's talk about the 2 pages here. 2 pages. This is good news. Good money news coming in and an offer coming in. For those of you who have been waiting for work or who have been waiting to hear back about maybe if you're trying to sell a house or buy a house, or if you're trying to figure out what's going on with your investments, looks like you're going to hear some good news once we hit the first week of December. Now, the good thing about the Page of Pentacles means this is definitely positive news coming in as it relates to money. It may not be anything major or monumental, but it's still good news nonetheless. Same with the Page of Cups. This is good news. This is an offer. Someone's showing up with something that's going to benefit you in a financial way. The other thing about the Page of Cups is sometimes too, the timing of this is very important. It's like someone shows up, right, right when we kind of gave up on him or her. The other thing is sometimes things show up in a very surprising way. But it's a good surprise. You think something is over and done, and then you turn around and lo and behold, something is working out. Something is, growing for you. Somebody wants to give you something, okay? So get ready, because this first week of December, Virgo, you're going to have a lot of clarity here. You're going to really figure out, what you need to do, how to trust yourself, how to focus, how to see the bigger picture. And then you're also going to get something in here that's going to help you kind of propel forward, something that's really going to help you really get to that next level. All right, Virgo, let's see what else is showing up for you. As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of December 2020, what do we need to know for the sign of Virgo? All right. Oh my gosh. Now this, I know you probably won't believe me, but I was just thinking about this card, and that's the card that came out. And I'm just like, what? Good thing though, it's in the reverse, so. But it's nothing to worry about, nothing to panic. So let's dive in. All right, Virgo. Now, you're kind of going through this phase of, do I trust myself? I don't know. I'm feeling confused. And then you start to have conversations with people. You start to talk things out with people close to you. Sometimes that can be good, and sometimes it can't, especially when it comes to your money. Virgo, remember, what you need to do as it relates to your money. And in this case, with this card here, you're going to be getting input that may not really serve you. Now, it's really good to get someone's, opinion, but that doesn't mean their opinion is a course of action. Okay? So make sure you use discernment when you're talking to people about your financial situation, or if you're seeking financial advice from someone. It's one of those things where you listen to everybody and then you still figure out what you're going to take and what's not going to work. Okay? Same with these readings here. I try to stress that when I do these readings, they're just kind of giving us little hints and insights and maybe a little bit of information. But of course, ultimately, you are going to decide, what resonates and what doesn't. Next, we have the Four of Swords here. This is a card of stepping back, retreating, maybe withdrawing from something. Now, when it comes to your money, it looks like whatever this good news is, this good money news that's showing up for you, it looks like it's going to give you the opportunity to take a step back. Could it be that maybe you're going to get a bonus, or maybe an advance or something on your salary, and so it allows you to take some time off so you can figure out what exactly your next move is going to be. Who knows? But it's definitely going to be something that allows you to kind of take a break, allows you to go within, and allows you to really do some soul searching and figure outing about what it is that you want to do when it comes to your money and to your career and to your business. Next, we have the Strength card, a beautiful, beautiful positive card. The Strength card talks about being empowered, also having the tenacity and the determination to keep going. The other thing about the Strength card, this is also a card of good health. So for those of you who have been having some health issues or some health challenges, the Strength card does talk about healing and recovery and being strong, and also, having the physical, attributes that you want to have. So while I don't think this is all about physical health, I do feel that there is going to be, for some of you, where that definitely applies. Five of Cups, this is making a good decision and having no regrets. It's moving away from something that you decided and you see wholeheartedly, very clearly, that you did the right thing, okay? Don't let anyone make you feel guilty about walking away from something that did not work for you, did not serve you, or that you just plain did not like. You don't have to explain why something isn't working for you. You don't have to make excuses for any of that. And the good thing about that, Virgo, is that you are in that place where you are confident and you are very assertive, at least assertive enough to communicate that something doesn't work, especially as it relates to your money life. Now we got the King of Swords here. King of Swords talks about something being taken away, something being removed. And sometimes this shows up when things kind of are abruptly taken away. It also shows up when the energy is something that changes so swiftly that it's really hard to adjust. I'm going to say this is a little bit of both, because when it comes to our money, sometimes things happen very quickly and it's kind of a shock and we're trying to figure things out. The other thing about this is also trying to maneuver through changes, especially financial changes, when we don't have control of all the aspects of what's going on. Okay. Now, the good thing about the King of Swords, this is just more of a warning card. This is not something that is destined to be, so to speak. But the King of Swords is a very powerful card. Now, the other thing about the Kings is it talks about control too. The King energy is someone who is very kind of has his, his hand on the pulse, so to speak. I don't know what that saying is, but it's someone who knows what's going on and someone who can clearly see the big picture. And even though you may not have all the answers and you may not see the whole entire picture when it comes to your money, the good thing is that you can trust that things are going to shake up a little bit, but you're going to figure out a way. And the other thing is because this fell on this Three of Cups, I'm intuitively feeling like there's something that kind of gets in the way. And the interesting thing is, like, while at first it seems like, oh, okay, someone got in the way of me making an extra sale or whatever the case may be. When all is said and done, you still have something that comes out of it that totally benefits you and totally flips the switch. So I just don't want you to worry, Virgo. I don't want you to feel like, things are crashing down, because in reality, they're not. Now, we also have the Tower card. This is a very positive card in the reverse position. Yes, it is. It means the worst is over. It means the ground has been cleared. The path has been, wiped. the slate has been wiped clean. The other thing about the Tower card is that it talks about a phase of rebuilding. So for some of you, if you're struggling financially, or maybe something happened and you got wiped out financially, just know that it only gets better from this point on. The other thing about the Tower is sometimes these things have to happen in order to shake us up, in order to keep us aware of certain things we need to know, certain lessons we need to kind of figure out in order to grow. And some people get stuck at certain levels in their life and then they never progress past that. So I just want you to stay open, trust that the worst is over, and that now things can only go up. And this is also a good card again because it fell on this Page of Cups. So while things are being wiped clear, it's going to be for the better. Okay? All right. So let's continue on, Virgo. And see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of December 2020. Okay. Now, we have a repeater. And because this showed up again, now I'm feeling like this is something health related for those of you who are struggling with something. Yes, healing, recovery, rehabilitation, robust health, strength, all those things are definitely a good sign for you. Okay, so I'm also getting the sense that sometimes some of you need to fast. Okay, some of you need to give your body a break, so things can regenerate. And I know that seems totally totally out of nowhere, but that's what came through. Somebody needs to take a fast. They need to give their digestive and their immune system a rest so it can repair itself. Okay, so somebody needed to hear that. But here we go with the Knight of Cups. Now the Knight of Cups talks about slow assistance. The other thing, sometimes this Knight of Cups shows up when somebody reneges on a deal, right? Somebody says, oh yeah, I'll help you move. Yeah, I'll be there Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Well, Saturday comes, 10 a.m. comes, 11 a.m. comes, and they still don't show up. So, again, I'm getting that this is a heads up. This is a kind of a, you can believe it when you see it kind of thing, because it looks like somebody's going to back out or somebody's going to renege on a deal. It's unfortunate, because you do need the help, but at the same time, you're better off without this person just because they're so flaky and they're so unreliable. Next, we've got the Empress card, another beautiful card. This talks about growth, progression, maturity. A lot of times I see this card too when people ask me about their investments. They ask about, are my investments going to grow? Are they going to mature, at full value and stuff like that? And this is a very good card. The other thing about the Empress card is this is that feminine energy card. So she is very much someone who is into allowing, right? She's not forcing anything to happen. Her money is growing because she's allowing it to grow. She's doing what needs to be done, and now all she has to do is support the growth process. So when it comes to your money, just know that sometimes it's not all about taking action, hustling, and grinding. It's about doing the work and then allowing things to flourish in their own time and in their own way. Now, we also have the Moon card here. The Moon card talks about there's something that we just don't know, Virgo. There's something that is either being deliberately hidden or unintentionally hidden from us. So, what does this mean when it comes to your money? It means that if you can postpone making any type of a money or financial decision, especially in the second half of December, do that. Why? Because there's things that are still not exposed, things that are still not revealed. And because you don't necessarily have all the information at this time, if you can stall on something as it relates to your money, then that would be the best course of action. Now, obviously, that may not apply in every situation, but if you are feeling like there's more than what is being said, trust that, because you're right on the money. The other thing is sometimes things are just deliberately hidden and you may never find out what it is. But if you feel like, oh, this guy's not telling me the full story, or oh, I don't know if this is really everything that's involved in this transaction, then your best bet would be to back out. I mean, granted that you are legally able to do so. Now, I do feel that that applies because the next card is the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords talks about news coming through about something being taken away, eliminated, stopped, changed, discontinued. So the Page of Swords in the reverse means that, there is probably going to be a delay of some sort. There's going to be something that's held up once we hit the second half of December. The other thing about the Page of Swords is sometimes this is a card that represents speed or timing. So if there is something that you're waiting on, you could have to deal with some delays or some postponements or some cancellations or things not kind of following the timeline that was initially set in place. So, depending on your circumstances, either or could apply. But the other thing about the Page of Swords in the reverse is it just means that there's going to be some changes that affect the outcome. And a lot of those or maybe the change or all of the changes will also affect the timing of the outcome or the timing of the result. All right, Virgo. Let's see what else we need to know. For the sign of Virgo, as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of December 2020. All right, Virgo, as we close out the month of December, there definitely is going to be some changes into some plans that you already have in place. Why? Because we have the Six of Swords here. Now, remember we talked about the Page of Swords, about something being held up. I'm seeing here changes in travel plans with the Six of Swords in the reverse. The other thing about this is it also means that something that was already set to happen is not going to happen because of circumstances beyond our control. Now, I want you guys to kind of think about, even though you can't control something, sometimes the things you can control end up making it so you can control a situation, right? And I talk about, our reactions, our game plan, our emotions. And I don't know why, but I felt like that had to come out for some reason because I feel like someone's hearing this and they're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible news. Well, I mean, it could be initially, but when you kind of look at it from every side, it may not necessarily be bad news, okay? It may not. And I say that because of the other cards we see here. All right, Seven of Wands. This is improved communication. Now, we also had him here. This is another repeater. We also have a repeater here. I think that's it. But again, communications. Be very discerning when you talk to people about your money because everybody has an opinion and not everybody has your goals and your best interests at heart, okay? Next, we have the Ace of Wands. This means something is growing. Something's definitely flourishing for you. I'm not surprised because this fell on the Strength and the Empress card. And these are all very positive cards right here. I mean, Virgo, if there's something you're waiting for to take off, you're definitely going to see it take off in the last week of December, or you're going to start seeing how things will start to pick up for you at this time. This is very exciting because it means growth is happening, progress is happening, things are showing up in a big, bold, beautiful way. It's very exciting, so get ready. We also have the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups talks about regret. The only thing I could think about on here is because we have the Empress and then we have the Moon touching this card. Remember I said if you can hold off on making a decision because something is being hidden deliberately, maybe you decide to move forward anyway and then you realize after the fact that, oh crap. You're like, oh crap, I didn't know that when I went into this deal, okay? It's not going to be anything catastrophic. It's just going to be something that could be a little disappointing. Next, we have the Justice card in reverse. Justice card in reverse. This is decisions being made and you have no say, no input, but the decisions affect you directly. I talk about this card a lot because a lot of people think that Justice card means just being fair. And while it can mean that, when he shows up in the reverse, it means that you have no say. A decision is going to be made and you will have no input, no opinion, and no control. Now, this doesn't mean that the decision is going to affect you negatively. However, sometimes it's really hard to make adjustments to things when you clearly can see it didn't have to be this way. You know, if I could have talked to someone, you know, we could have done this and it would have been better. Yes, I'm sure, but you know, it is what it is, especially when it comes to money. See, a lot of times that happens when it comes to our money. You know, it's like we have no control over interest rates changing. We have no control over how investment firms or real estate prices, you know, can shift and manipulate and, you know, the price of, you know, whatever. You know, we just can't control that. We can just work from our end. And I think that's what I'm getting here with this card. Finally, we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles again. Somebody makes a financial promise, and I'm not sure if they're going to follow through. If someone borrowed money, they may or may not pay back. The other thing about this Knight of Pentacles is it means that you do get some assistance in some way, some financial assistance. It's just not as much as you're hoping for. Right? So maybe your parents said, yes, we'll help you with the bills this month. And, you know, they can only give you $500 when you really need $1,000. You know, so it's not like you're not going to get assistance, but it's just not going to be to the degree that you're expecting, or it's going to come probably a little bit too late. And I'm more inclined to say that because this is signifying the end of the month. So, you know, maybe, again, your parents said they're going to help you, and you need the money for December, but they can't give it to you until January. You know, it's not bad. It's just not how we would, not how we would have chosen it for ourselves. So Virgo, you have a very curious month ahead, especially as it relates to your money. You've got lots of changes, but you also have lots of growth and you have lots of progress. So I hope you're ready, Virgo, because things, I don't want to say they're going to be instantaneously good, but eventually they're going to work out in a good way. All right, so let's go ahead and close out your reading, Virgo, with a wisdom of the Oracle card. All right, you got card number 3. This is Between Worlds. You know, this totally does kind of jive with the reading here. Why? Because there's some, you know, there's pockets of the reading where things are like, eh. And then there's other parts where things are just, wow, fantastic. And so I feel like you're going to be doing this dance of kind of, you know, maneuvering between worlds throughout the month. At least that's how I'm taking this card to mean. If you have any other ideas, I would love to hear them down below. You know, I know there's a guidebook that comes with this, but I like to trust my own intuitive sense with these. So let me know your thoughts down below. All right, Virgo, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, drop them down below. And I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. We'll do it all again next month.